All right, part two of the monthly on the 13th for VOD review. This is top 8 now, so this is going to be a little more than half of the VOD actually. So we'll try and get through this without any breaks, but we'll see again. So first we have KTD versus Aerith. Aerith, I think, is pretty comfortable in this matchup as far as. Well, it's a little interesting because I think he has stated, like, when I talked to him, that he's pretty comfortable in this matchup. But I do know that KGD has beaten him in the past, so there's definitely, like, KGD has done a good job countering Aerith's matchup game plan, basically. So yeah, so far so good. Aerith kind of poking, KGD armoring around it smartly. Gets the magnetism and the hit. Okay. Doesn't quite confirm, but it's fine. He got out of the situation with full Magatama. A little bit too far for Gurren. I also think Gurren's a little bit odd of a choice there. Like, normally the neutral special you're looking for is Kishu Enma, but he probably had a different idea, maybe. But Cameron does pick up nice win there. Does have to spend burst, but that's totally fine because normally the neutral is fairly slow in this matchup. Oh. Sorry, it's lowering the volume instead of rewinding. So this round start feels really aggressive from Aerith to me. Like, I think I've talked about this where fighting Tager, I kind of treat like you're playing Street Fighter, where like he doesn't have great movement options, and Hakumen doesn't either. But like you should be able to like enforce a pretty good mid-range game against Tager, and dashing in like this is pretty counterintuitive to what you normally want to do against Tager, but it's possible that Aerith just wanted to, like, sometimes you have to show aggression, but I think this way is a little crazy. Yeah, he did dash up 5A. Nice. 6A on the no-tech. Good. 3C right there, really good reaction. Yep, so far so good. I'm not gonna try not to nitpick too much because obviously it's hard to play perfectly. But Aerith so far doing a good job spacing and then with punishing. He is gonna spend the meter for this kill, which I think is very fair because Tager could easily turn that around. Like, one scramble into a combo into a 720 reset probably would have killed him there, so. Nice, I like the backdash. 4C with punish. Excellent 2B. 2B being very active and fairly long range. And 5B, you kind of just hold to beat the air stall, but Cameron does a good job of getting the B sledge armor out before that 4C. That is something that's why Hakumen can't just 4C forever in this matchup, is like he has to be aware of B sledge. But yeah, keeping it safe, not trying to get command grab out of his pressure. Drops the combo, but gets the grab to finish it, so good stuff from Aerith. I think certain characters can overwhelm Tager with offense, just like their natural pressure ends up invalidating a lot of his defensive options, but I think for Hakumen, you're fine playing a pretty patient sort of offensive style. Like you don't have to go for crazy mix. Um, but yeah, right there, Cameron finding a couple hits. Mostly, it looks like Aerith taking his turn and spots that probably aren't isn't really his turn, basically. Mm. Yeah, the 6B round start from Tiger is mainly to beat foot property moves, since it does have that invuln. A decent counter poke. It's more of a hard call out than anything. Okay. Yep, this is something that Aerith will do is just instead of playing the guessing game on Wake Up against Tiger, he will opt to just purple throw. Which sounds pretty crazy, except it's not a bad situation at all for Hawkman. Like, after Air Tech, Tiger is at a very clear disadvantage, so I think it's totally fine to do. And, you know, if it goes through, you get an extra 1500 unscaled damage, so I think very specifically in this matchup, it makes sense. Nice mash out. I think Cameron so far has been doing a good job staying patient and neutral, not overcommitting too hard. It's just, it seems like in the scramble situations like that, like the couple hits in neutral that Aerith has found has been off of these scramble situations. Yeah, and now low on life, he's kind of forced to spend his resources a little faster. Aerith very smartly, playing pretty defensively until the overcommit comes, so. That's a tough call. Oh, drops it, gets the J, so. Yeah, that's like kind of how the matchup I think normally goes when Hawkman decides that he doesn't want to interact. Is like, yeah, you magnetize him, but like, what's the response going to be? Like the minute Cameron charges 6 a.m. in, it's like Aerith was ready with the 2B. So nice play there. It's a little tricky on the Tiger side too, because like your options for pulling him in are not safe, so it's like choosing the right one in the right situation and the right spacing. Like you can do neutral jump JD versus like jump forward JD, which covers a lot of space, or like 2D. 2D I think is a little iffy, but it can be good as a call out. But yeah, so me versus Zool. I just played Zool yesterday in a longer set because I think he was saying he was pretty unfamiliar with this matchup, and this is a matchup I have a decent amount of experience in. So, I have no idea what I was doing there, but it's fine. I definitely tried to foray that, but pretty late on the reaction there, so Soul gets the combo. Yeah. Treasure chests, I think overall they're insanely good, but 9 can kind of pop them a lot easier than a lot of characters. Just by teleporting over them, basically. Or by doing that. 3C5D works, but it leaves 9 very vulnerable to Whiff Punish, so. Unfortunate drop there. Yeah. Sniping the item pull there. JA, of course, covering a huge amount of space for 9. It's her only air normal that covers a significant amount of space above her. The rest of them are pretty horizontal. Good counter usage. I do think Platinum between counter and C hard car actually does have some good options to hard call out. This is a terrible combo. I don't know what the hell I was doing. C mommy plus counter can actually be used to hard call out some of her strings because when 9 jump cancels to bait against counter or like same thing against bang drives to a certain degree, it means she gives up a lot of space and mix up time. So I think smart usage of those two options can be used. Neutral jump. Yep, grab the element there. Good job catching the out teleport from Zool. Cheeky little cross up there. Yeah, I think I was hard baiting Bat, but I think I just do neutral jump J2A there because it beats Bat anyway. So good combo. Drops the last part, but it's totally fine. Another drop. Another drop. Yeah, kind of greedy there. Like, it's hard to say because I think the spot where I OD'd, yeah, it's kind of ambiguous. She didn't really start the hard car animation yet, so going straight into EA there is a little bit hard to call. Mm. Yeah, honestly, I don't like the way, like the footage I'm seeing, I don't like the way I'm playing this matchup. I think, we all play better in casuals and tournaments usually, so in general, I think this is not my favorite performance to learn from the matchup, but yeah, that makes sense. Cross up. Try to go for the unblockable reset, but ends up dropping it. Staying vigilant. I don't know. I guess I was trying to anti it there, but yeah. So I I fuzzy jumped and OD'd, which meant I didn't get either of them. Like I couldn't punish correctly there. If I just didn't one of them, it would have been fine. But nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good block. Although I don't know, maybe I mistimed it there. It's not supposed to do that. Yeah, get the corner back. Crush trigger, I do like crush trigger a lot. Into the Kunzite reset. I think, maybe I could have, don't think it would have killed there. I would have need 2 spells and the Stomp Super to do so, I think. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna say too much about that set because I've already talked with Zool about it, but in general, it's kind of like 9 has the better buttons, so Platinum has to kind of play around cycling her items into one that forces 9 to like make decisions. Like let's say you pull missile, it like heavily influences what 9 is about to do in neutral, right? Like she's way more apt to start teleporting around missile or bomb rather than just like let's say you have bat in neutral, like she's not pressured at all to teleport, so And you can get away with cycling items fairly easily since 9 is not too fast and doesn't have too much to snipe you very quickly. And there are certain angles where Navy pressure doesn't even reach. So, yeah. And at some point, when I have more time, I'm going to make a whole video on fighting against 9, and hopefully we'll pick up some stuff from there. I think this, yeah, button check. Oh god, I accidentally just pressed the fucking end button, man. That's crazy. Okay, my bad. So yeah, button check. Kaidiv versus KTD, we just saw this matchup. So this will be a good insight onto what Cameron's game plan is in general against the Hawkman matchup. Since this is now a different Hawkman. Getting a knife whiff punish into the confirmation. That 5A there is a character specific after the gadget finger, so good knowledge there. Nice counter. Yeah. 2C no cancel does get punished. And the Zantetsu does get command grabbed. So far, good callouts from Cameron. I think he needed to hold the B sludge a little longer, and then that would have been a full combo, not just a blue beat. But nice Magnetech wheel spotting the gap. And this is something more general against Tager. Like, yes, you want to wall him out, but you have to think, like, is that 4C actually going to stop anything meaningful in that situation? Because honestly, a lot of times people get caught trying to poke Tager at max range with a mid, since that's normally what their best pokes tend to be mids. Nice empty jump there. And if Tager spots you doing that too much, like let's say you're doing max range 5B with Ragna, B sledge call out into a counter hit, that's so much damage. So, something to keep in mind. Spark Bolt, yeah, pretty normal there. So, pretty fast win for Cameron. I think he's doing a good job calling out these spaces that Kaidiv thinks he can get away with poking at. Nice 3C there. Yeah, normally the 5A there is to mess up jumps, because you're like, oh, I'm going to jump after the gadget finger sort of thing. And, you know, you can normally do double gadget finger to catch that, but yeah, it's classic. With that 5A messing up jumps, you can go 5A into 2-2D, I believe it is. And then go into a lower command grab. Alright. Yeah. Tried to do a 720 there, but messes up the input. Yanagi beating the 5C. Nice. I think Kaidiv tried to avoid the sparkle right there, but he was a little bit off on the timing, so Cameron gets the counter hit into the full kill. That's kind of what happens when you play against Taker and you don't have like the most... I think I've said this before, but Taker is like execution check. You have to be on point with that, and you have to be ready to switch your game plans pretty quickly. So if one of those two is not on point, then it could look pretty bad for you really quickly. So we ended up getting the mainstream here, so that's why we get a little player cam action. This is probably one of my most comfortable matchups. And we've played a lot before, so. Yeah. Yeah, you can see I'm basically just walking towards Tager until I have like a response for him, basically. Yeah, it's like you walk at him and then he has to respond eventually, and then you just kind of you either respond correctly, or if you end up like hitting spells on block, it's fairly easy for 9 to build spells in neutral, and then those spells convert into lockdown situations. Like so. Like Tager can't punish that at all, right? And then this is all transitioning into more spells. A little bit bad of a punish, but ends up getting away there. That right there was actually a punish scenario. This is a pretty greedy aerial for me. Like, J2C is her worst air to ground button, and by doing it so early, even Tiger is able to crouch under it like this, but the reason you do it so early is to catch jump outs, or to clip people standing up, basically. But it ends up whiffing there. That I definitely could have gotten mashed on, but you know, we'll take it. And then finally gets tagged. Corner situation, Seedoki. Makes sense, burst in the corner. But yeah, it's rough. I mean, nice combo adjustment by me. And that only happened like that because that was actually air Kunzite. Like, if you notice, I'm still in the air actually, like barely above the ground. Otherwise, that 720 would have hit. So. The good old Astral. So Terrami, I think if you have this matchup for me personally, I'm less comfortable in, which you know I think sounds pretty crazy given the amount of Terramis there are, and like you'll run into them all the time. But he's got some stuff against 9, like just being fast and having a decent whiff punish tool and pretty decent lockdown once he gets you blocking. Means that you probably have more freedom to play the game versus Tager. TRM. Yeah, build a spell with the OD. Almost a good combo adjustment, but then I do a weird jump in. That was supposed to be jump forward for sure. And then a really lazy cast gets punished. Bad mash. Yeah. There's some times where I think I've instant blocked something, so I started mashing, and then I realized that it didn't instant block, so. Yeah, so you can see, like, playing this more reactive neutral that I normally like going for is much scarier against Terami rather than Tiger. Like, just Terami's movement speed makes it... I feel more pressure to throw out balls to wall... or throw out buttons to wall him. So, and that's where Terami can take advantage of that. Or that's just a general anti-9 thing. Like, you step into her range and she feels pressure to keep you out type of thing. So if you can take advantage of that, then that is going to win you neutral a lot. Or maybe not win you neutral, but it puts a lot of pressure on 9 to do something. Good challenge. Don't really know what I was going for there. Had to burst that. Okay. Terrible combo. Nice backdash there. I'm probably not casting gravity. It's just not worth it given Terry. Alright, well, never mind. Delayed low, catches him. That should seal the deal. Yeah, I mean, 9 stagger is... She can do stagger, but without a microdash to get her back into range, it's actually not super threatening. It just catches people who are like impatiently trying to wiggle sort of thing. So, next one is, I think, Crouton versus Aerith. Yeah. So I don't play any of these characters, but this is a pretty common matchup. So I can only offer what I think is probably correct in this scenario. There it is, which is... I think Hazama has to work harder than Hakumen in this matchup, in my opinion, because of that button right there. Like, J2A beating Chain, it's so active, it acts as kind of like a wall looking at the hitbox of it, so it can beat Chain, and it can also beat Hazama flying in. Like so. And then, you know, Hazama doesn't have defensive options, really. So, not that Hakumen has particularly oppressive lockdown, but usually Hakumen players are pretty good at tricking you and enforcing frame traps in different creative ways. I think Aerith in particular is pretty good at that. Nice. Kurchan grabbing the grab there. Does drop the combo. There we go, J2A again. Naira spending the OD for the kill. I think it's totally fine. Like, you spend OD for kill. I think it's totally worth it. Especially if you know the neutral is going to be a little bit slower. So yeah, he does go aggressive. Crouton ready with a nice combo. Really nice combo, actually. And just 5As on wake up. Yeah, I think when you're playing Aerith, you really got to check his wake up, because he will definitely run you over if you give him the chance to. Nice spacing. That spacing was right outside of the 2C. Into quite a bit of damage. Crouton gets counter hit, not sure what for, but J2A again. It just beats a lot of what Hazama really likes to go for. So it gets really tricky because, like, basically the window for punishing J2A like that is almost non-existent. given the fact that it voids the chain and then Hazma has to rely on ground movement basically, which, you know, he's not the best at. But you can find angles around it, it's just very difficult. It's more difficult than Hakumen throwing out the J2A, you know. Interesting reset, but I think this is sort of like Aerith smells blood in the water type of thing. Very aggressive turn. Alright. Can't quite grab the roll there. I'm not really sure he wanted the sword there. I can't remember what it's. It says 236A, but seems like maybe a misinput. A little bit far to get a full confirm there, I think. Another drop though. Nice. It has been one nice thing is him getting those two C's, and you can see how much damage Hazama gets off of it. It ends up working out for him, but again, I think you... It's hard to say, because, you know, he has Yuki Kaze on the table, but I think it's fine. Like, you don't want to give him a chance to get out. In a matchup where I think you feel pressured in neutral, or maybe you're struggling in neutral, I think it's pretty important that, you know, you not let them out, basically. Like, if I'm playing against Rachel or something, I'm trying my very best to keep her locked down. Which sounds like an obvious statement, but it's more like I'm willing to take the risk of getting countered. Well, against Hakumen it's a little bit different, but like I'm willing to risk getting reversal supered if it means stopping them from being like, oh, I'm just gonna wake up, jump out, you know, sort of thing. Obviously, my character is different because 9 can do pressure / Oki at ranges where that normally isn't a factor. But I think as a general mindset sort of thing, that's kind of what I'm going into is like, if I'm Crouton and I feel like, it just based off of what I'm watching, it feels like he's kind of struggling in neutral to find his hits. I don't want to let him out for free, you know. So he does get a good call out on Aerith doing jumping, maybe J2A. Can't quite grab the roll though, and we're back to this. J2A. Good confirm. Oh, the reset, yeah. That's kind of like a 9 kunzite reset type of thing. Like, you know what? He probably could have killed without that, right? No. I get it, actually. Like, he probably would have to spend a good amount of like OD to kill there, so I think going for that reset for the kill, I think makes sense when you have such a large life lead, and because he's already winning in neutral for most of this. So I think it makes sense. Yeah, a little... He would have had to spend another Magatama to confirm that, I think. Actually, I think you could do 4C Kishu Enma, so maybe I'm wrong. A drop, but yeah, has to back out here. It's pretty tough, like... I think, honestly, from what I'm seeing, is Crouton is letting him go Like, he's respecting drive way too much, I think. Like, a lot of these pressure sequences that I'm seeing from him, good patience. Oh, I think I actually remember this. I think he wins this round, no? Obviously, he didn't want the crush trigger. I think this is when he command grabs the Yanagi, right? Really good 3C there. The stances are really working out for him, so that has been the shining hope. Is most of the hits that he's gotten have been from counter hitting Aerith doing something a little bit too, maybe a little too committal. Like, he got 2C'd a couple times that led to some huge damage. And maybe not expecting the stance follow-ups as responses, such as using the mid-invuln properties and the low property of the follow-ups. So, smart usage of that there. Drops, but it's fine. Yeah. I think I'll get back to what I was saying on Crouton's offense versus Hawkman here. Or maybe specifically versus Aerith. Really nice there, grabbing the landing. Obviously, this isn't like amazing damage or anything, but it puts him in a one-hit scenario, so I think it's fine. Hawkman jump cancel pressure, surprisingly annoying to deal with. Finally gets out, but ends up air dashing back in. That should be the kill right there. So I think what I want to go over is when Crouton is actually getting his hits and his knockdowns. I think he's being like this. Obviously, it's really hard to call because he's literally on a single hit scenario. So I understand being afraid of the drive. Maybe not this part. This is all scramble pretty much. It was earlier in this round, I think. Trying to find a scenario where he's like, yeah. So let's just go back to the beginning of this round, I think. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I'm trying to find a scene where Crouton has him knocked down and is doing offense on him. Drops it. Okay, there. Yeah, like I think Hazama, yes, has pretty limited offensive options compared to a lot of characters, but I thought what I was seeing based off of his general, like the way he's playing and the way he's pressuring Aerith is like he's playing so like scouting for counter, and Aerith has not really countered him out of pressure, right? Like he's playing against an option that hasn't been shown yet. Like yes, obviously Hawkman can counter out of pressure, but it's like you can't be too afraid of the unknown or else they're gonna get away with so much. Like I think oftentimes Aerith was totally fine just blocking like a couple buttons, and then Crouton would just let him out, just because he was afraid of the counter. And maybe it wasn't this round that shows it. Mm-mm-mm. Nice. Good counter. Okay. I think we're finally getting some. So yeah, like he went. I mean, Yeah, the Husband pressure is obviously not amazing, so you can see like how short his turn is. It was literally jab, jump cancel, two A's, and then Aerith was mashing sort of thing, you know, like and he did 2A dash forward barrier to scout for counter. So it's like I think I don't want to rewind again, but if you were to go back, I don't remember Aerith countering out of Crouton's pressure, so I would probably like to see like don't be too afraid of an option that Aerith hasn't shown yet. This is the same thing as like playing those wild Ragnas where you're like, oh, they're obviously gonna DP on wake up, and then they just thrive off of like jump on wake up or just doing like blood scythe or gauntlet Hades on wake up. Like, so this I think is the one that I obviously wanted to watch because I ended up losing this, but I've already watched this a couple times back, and there's there's some things to talk about from my perspective. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I think watching my matchups from this monthly, um, I wasn't too happy with the play I was seeing on the screen, so I think I will be pretty critical of myself here. So this is something that I will often do is this second it's really hard to see, but there's actually a second jump there. So it's like I do jump in and then immediate double jump. And what this kind of does is I'm trying to scout them. Basically, it's scouting for anti-air slash rising JA, and it's also trying to get them to flinch, sort of thing. Like they think they have more space, and then they try to like they let go of block to jump out or something like that, right? That's I don't know if this is exactly what Crouton. It looks like he tried to dash under and didn't get it actually. So that's why I do that like quick instant jump sort of thing. It looks like Crouton was actually ready for that. He just fucked the input up. That's also a misinput. That was probably car cancel barrier if I had to guess. Okay. So here I don't mind Crouton letting me go on offense because it's like I think in this scenario he feels pretty confident in the neutral with Hazama versus 9. And if you have that confidence, I think that's totally fine to like play more defensive with your pressure and just back off if it's you think you're overcommitting type of thing. Mm-mm-mm. Nice. Good movement to get out of the threat range. And gets the cross-up stance there into the combo. So I think here is an example of what my takeaway from this match was that I was way too hasty on burning air actions. So like you can see the minute I jump into the air, I did the immediate double jump and then I'm stuck. Like I'm basically landing into a 2C or I'm like trying to bait with a teleport. And so I try to get the air stall, Kunzite, doesn't work out. I immediately go back into the air, double jump again, and then again I'm in the same scenario. Like I'm 2C fodder, so I have to teleport out. And then he gets the cross up. Well, not really a cross up, it's just counter hitting the teleport right there, so I think that was my main takeaway from this is that against an opponent who I think is fishing for it a lot, I should not be burning my air actions like that. Nice. You can see Kirchon playing pretty reactive. Yeah, can't really do too much off of that. The reason I OD'd there is to beat grab, because if you grab 9 here, let's see. He is in range of the fire, which is about to fall here, so grabbing would actually break the fire ring, and then, obviously you either take the grab or if 9 techs, you're still out type of thing, so that's why I went for the OD, but he ends up getting around that. Yes, there you go. Again, double jump into the teleport. Just being way too liberal with the air actions. Mainly burning the double jump, honestly. Because if I had a double jump, it's like, I don't know. It opens a whole new part of that terrible combo. I think, yeah. I think I had rock and I thought I had built it in a wrong order than I did. And then this safe jump right here is something that I do pretty often. You do this fake safe jump. Well, it is a safe jump, but it doesn't BD them. So this completely whiffs, and then I usually get a grab here. But Wake Up OG completely cooks this, and then I end up dying for it. So overall, just overcommit on offense right there. Okay, so far I like how this. Yeah, I like how that's going. Converting this is a little bit trickier. Yeah, so basically 6B counter hit has a ton of time, so I think I have to let Hazama fall further because that right there basically screws the whole combo up. Because JA is, like I said, her only button that reaches above her. So at this point, converting into Kunzite is like, you have to like double jump here. Yeah, so just need to be a little more patient on the confirm there. Not teleport ends up working out for me. Can't quite convert that. I mean, I could have converted that, but I did not at the time, so. And in a matchup like this, it's like getting those conversions into the knockdown is so important. Like, yeah. A little bit late though, so I don't get the punish. Fairy for neutral gets him to burn a chain stock. And then I get clipped anyway. Nice. A little bit, like, I'm usually not... Oh, man. I usually don't go for resets too often, but... the reset ended up working there. I just think with so much health left that they're... Like, I just take the knockdown into a better Oki. But, it works in hindsight. It's just the combo here. Like, I have to delay more. Delay this J2A. Like, I jumped and did it immediately, basically, so... Yeah. ODing through rock... I honestly... I don't tell people to do it, because there is a window to do it. It's just so small, and the punishment for it is that you can either get counter hit, or you could, like, you just eat the plus frames, basically, so... Nice. I don't get... Yeah, you don't get the freeze off of that distance. You probably can, but not in that scenario. Fire Rain prorating that kind of ruins his that. Nice. Should be... Do I drop this? I do drop this, yeah. No, I go for... Yeah, I think actually I don't think I would have killed, so... Going for the reset there to kill, Crouton aware of it. End up getting a rollout. Weird situation. Yeah, it's like... That's why you check teleport with jab, right? In case that scenario happens where she just teleports right in front of you type of thing. Low teleport into up teleport is pretty tricky. Yeah, because your instinct is like, oh, I'm going to jab and it's going to counter hit here. But this up teleport beats the jab. And then at this point, you have to go into an anti-air option. And usually people aren't really ready for that up teleport angle. You know, it's still a risk on 9's end, but pretty lazy pressure there. Can't convert it. Yeah, and then again, burning the air actions again, like trying to bait 2C there, and then I'm like, oh, he did 2C, now I have to teleport again, and then, yeah. Nice timing on that. Cast to air stall. Yeah. Yep. Nice movement with the stance. Good low profile. I think I was just late on the mash there, because I did actually IVB that, but I didn't get the button out fast enough. Pretty risky Crimson Raider there, honestly, but since I'm so far behind, I have to kind of take the risk. That could have gone way worse than it did. I don't even know what I meant to do there. I have no idea. Like, this is, you just 3C there. I guess I was trying to do, no, even 2A, 3C. It's like, I don't even know what I was doing. That's just a B&B drop, basically. Don't get the side swap. Back teleport works out. And then I drop again. So this route I'm doing is to get an extra spell. Because you do spell swap Chorl into Crimson Raider, but that vertical jump I just did, the 8 jump right there, messes it up. Because then this whiffs. And then, yeah, you can't teleport around that like that, if he times it like that. I expected grab, but I just end up taking turn. He backs off. Nice. No, no, no. There's so many drops. Like, this combo is a little bit harder to time, but this is supposed to be TK Kunzite, and then I think that lands. But and now it's like, it ends up working out for me, but it's not a very good drop that I'm happy about, so. Pretty aggressive mash by me, but good pickup. Swap fairy. He quick text, but then up back, so I get to lock him down. Good barrier usage. This is exactly why you barrier against 9, by the way. So by barriering her out, you end up pushing her where strings like these end up whiffing. Like, I could have probably done 5C into 5B, but you can see I get a 5C whiff there. And then I have to jump in at this awkward angle. And right there again, you barrier that out. And then I can't actually take advantage of the plus frames from the Kunzite. It seems counterintuitive to barrier out a character that has a range advantage on you, but when she doesn't have a dash to actually enforce it, that's exactly why you go for it. So I do get away with a lazy cast, but it's fine. Just unfortunate spacing there. I actually think it looks like he could have... If he dashed a little further, I think it would have hit. But well, it would have hit me on block, so... Yeah, I burned all the air actions again. Ugh. Okay, yeah, there we go. This is a little bit better. Nice block, good EA. So I do get a stock there. Go for a little triple teleport, get crossed out. Yeah, I thought he was going to command grab there, which is why I went for that, but ends up working out for me. Delayed 3C. Yeah. Dropped it, doesn't matter, grab, yeah. Although, yeah, okay, he didn't have OD yet. I was gonna say that grab is kind of risky, but... Nice, catches the Shoral. Down teleport gets caught. Down teleport, I think, is an option that is a little underexplored, but it's mainly one of those things that you use to catch people off guard. And I have, catching people off guard, it's kind of a buzzword to me because it's like, yes, it is real. Like you're showing an option that you haven't before, and it adds to the mental stack. But at the same time, some people I think use it in the wrong way, where they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this to catch somebody off guard," which is another translation sometimes for, "Oh, I'm just kind of throwing it out there and hope it hits." I think some people use that phrase a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm being pessimistic on that, but I don't like doing things just for the sake of like, oh, trying to do the unexpected sort of thing. Alright. Not really a real mix-up, but probably not what you expect 9 to do there. There's that instant double jump. That right there I was really annoyed at because I just did a... Yeah, so I didn't land. That was the issue here, is because I'm in the air and I do Air Crimson Raider, I'm so low to the ground that I don't have enough time to fit a button here. So I actually think at this height, the only thing I can really do is RC into grab, and that's like the only thing that I think might keep me safe. Even then, I actually don't know if that would work if he's like mashing instantly. So just a little bit poor spacing. Not spacing, like timing, I guess, on my end. Like wait for myself to land. Okay, and then yeah, just I don't know why ever Navy pressure when they have OD and meter and like it didn't even hit. It's like that's kind of well, you know, it's like a very cherry picked example, but I feel like I just threw that just to do something unexpected. So it's like, you know, not really an option that I think is good there. It doesn't have any real upsides. Okay. Nice, gets the command grab into the corner. Okay. Didn't get the dash there, but no punish on my end. And then, yeah, 6A. This should be the kill. Yeah, so I think a good amount to take away for myself. I mean, he came in with a very prepared game plan, and I told him this. I was very happy for him, but I hope next time I can come back with better execution, better game plan, all of the above sort of thing. So yeah, second set, Crouton versus Aerith. J2A, classic. Nice conversion. Almost gets the 6A there. Yeah, that's a classic. 6B into delayed 2B. Or sorry, not 6B, 5B. His 6B gets 6B goes over most jabs like that, so in fact it has foot and one property, I think. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I think I'm thinking of it as 6A. There you go. So yeah, that was the one thing that was working for Crouton pretty well is when Aerith would approach the stance fall offs and really catching him up. Or catching him in spots that I think Aerith was not prepared for. Doing something unexpected, funnily enough, as I went on that rant about that. Nice. Gets out. Okay. Yeah. Another 2C. Again, that's like been most of the neutral hits that Crouton has found has been off 2C or off of stance, so I think if you're Aerith, probably need to be a little bit more careful about your aggression, like how you're approaching sort of thing. Scramble going Hawkman's way. Pops OD just to get out, but runs straight into the J2A. But you get the A here with the side swap, so that's good. I like the idea here. Like, you're waiting for Aerith to try to take his action out of the corner, but then I think your response... that's... I get it. Because, like, You would think that hitting that 588 there might cross some people up, but it looks like Aerith was ready to bury her there, so I think that's a fine. Like, I understand everything, like why he did what he did, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, even though it didn't necessarily go in his favor. Yeah, 5A. Trying to bait the burst. There it is. Yeah. I think honestly, when people have the life lead, like Crouton's on one hit, Aerith has half his life bar. It's like I think as the Hawkman, you're like, why not just try to like gamble a hit out, like a 2A or a counter or something? It makes sense. Throw gets counter hit into a 6B reset. He instant blocked the Gurren here. Yeah, so here it's like take your turn because he has no way to special cancel here, and he's minus. So there you go. Okay, we'll take it. Good chunk of damage, catches the roll. Drops it. I think so the dash under ends up getting him the hit here. It can be a little risky, but I think it's fine. It works out. Because the dash under is the whole reason he even got this hit, I think, so. I guess it's just like from a set player mentality, it's like I would never give up the corner. Like, well, actually, that's not true because I go for the corner cross up that loses me the corner sometimes. So just 2C mash gets counter hit, but it trades, so it's fine. Very nice 3C, and the pickup chunk of damage. Yeah, that is not safe. He has no pocket top. You instant blocked it. At least jump out. Like, maybe you're afraid of a counter or something, but like he's minus there for sure, and he has no way out of it. Okay, chains in. I like it, playing a little bit more aggressively, which is something new. Aerith finally does counter on wake up, so. But the immediate mash out there. Yeah. I think that 5C was just him trying to press more JCs, but he ends up landing and whiffing 5C. Yeah, and if you're Hakumen, you're just trying to wall Hazama and OD. Like, you know Hazama wants to throw chains and OD, so it's like you're throwing J2A, and then you could see he like varied the timing a little bit with that air dash. Very nice. Can't confirm, so he goes for a safe jump there. Command grab. Goes for the roll catch, but doesn't get it quite. But gets a 3C counter hit. Nice. So yeah, honestly, most of Aerith's, like, most of the times Aerith has gotten hit in neutral. outside of scrambles has been him doing some sort of air dash into Crouton's like 5A or 2C or stance B. Nice block. It's fine. You take 6B. Doesn't tech the air grab though, so that's... Now Huckman has a lot of Magatama. Nice confirm though. So yeah, playing a little more scrambling now. Does end up spending his stocks, but doesn't get... Like, Air's not punishing him pretty... Yeah, he doesn't get punished for it, and ends up baiting that, so that's nice. Very nice read there. Tries to bait counter, gets the reset. Not ready to Hotenjin there yet. Maybe thinking Aerith would block it. Ooh. Nice pickup. No, this is... Oh god, okay, drops it because of the height. Oh yeah, I remember that, yep. Very nice stuff. Because this makes so much sense. So it's like Yanagi beats all of the stance follow-ups, except Hazama can do the command grab to beat this, so... Just a well-calculated move from Crouton. Oh my god, I can't believe he has time to confirm like that. That is crazy. Okay, Kishu Enma. There you go, yeah. Gets the fake cross up. So yeah, I like this a lot more. I feel like he's playing a lot more, like... Playing more to win and not to lose sort of thing. Like, he's taking his risks. Like, this is kind of how you have to score upsets. It's like, you're probably not going to beat the better player most of the time, so you gotta enforce your will type of thing. Oh, okay, yeah. Just a tricky situation. I think he didn't want to spend the other chain stock, but Earth just hunting him down in the air with that air grab. Nice response. Yeah. Does end up dropping it. I'm very yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised he's not chaining out with that. And now he's in last hit scenario, which is really tricky, yeah. It's just tough when you get to the last hit scenario, because then it's like you feel so much pressure. And like, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to deal with this situation where he's just neutral jump JC, J2A or something, right? Trying to wall him out. So it's like, it's pretty hard for Hazama to contend with that. Like, you can't run under quickly like other characters in low profile that JC. Like, obviously Hazama 3C would work, but getting into that spacing where that 3C low profile actually works is pretty much impossible given his dash, so overall I think it felt honestly like probably need to just grind some more matchup experience with Aerith and get it going. It's like, I don't think that Crouton's game plan was bad. I just think that there were some like in the first set, he definitely over respected, and then I felt like near the end of the set, he was kind of understanding a little bit more, like the level of respect that he needed to show with his offense and his neutral, like adding in enough spice, so to speak, so that you weren't just trying to play like one play style, basically. But yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on too much on that because I feel like it'll just go into thoughts that I'm not like I'm just spitballing basically. So yeah, that'll be it for VOD review. Since I believe the next monthly or weekly that we'll have is in November or something like that. So that's it for a while. So I will catch you guys later.